Do we catch the part about the pollen?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, good.
good, good show. Started on a good start.
Yeah, I like that.
So, again, welcome to the Old Man Gaming Hour.
Or so.
Um, as always, my name's Jake, and to my left, this way, is Josh.
Josh, hey.
How you been, man?
Uh, it's been a week. I had a rough week. I think I had a little bit of crud after our tournament last weekend,
Yeah.
and then the weather shifted a little bit here, and so I've been getting over it. I haven't gotten a lot done, but how about you?
Uh, I feel great, and the weather is perfect for me. So,
Oh, good, good.
anyways, this week, we're going to talk about more fourth edition stuff. They gave us info on the battle packs, the battle plans, and battle tactics.
Yeah,
A
say
little,
that 5 times fast.
yeah, I mean, like it's doable probably. But we
I like
also
your
got
words.
model preview.
Yep.
Kind of interesting.
Finally a wrap.
Yeah, nasty little rat boys. Uh, I'll leave the spoilers for when we talk about them though.
Okay.
But as always, if you haven't already, hit the like button, do the thing,
Like, yeah.
follow,
Subscribe,
subscribe.
follow.
Uh, social media links will be in the show notes at the end of the show.
Yeah, check
Uh,
them all out.
also, yeah, just join the Discord. That's probably awesome. The best thing,
Yeah.
number one best thing is Discord. But we will have all those links in the show notes. Um, I guess we'll get into it. We don't have a whole lot to get into the main topic, but we do want to touch on a few things um, this week outside of Warhammer.
Yeah.
Um, would be where I'm at. If you guys notice, it's not the usual background. I am in sunny Florida with the family, took a vacation, and it's been perfect, man. It's been mid 80s, sunny,
Yeah.
partly cloudy.
Yeah. I didn't get that invite.
Oh, well, I mean, you're not really one of my kids, I guess. So,
Well, my computer just told me tomorrow's going to have a near record high.
oh, near record
So,
high for Michigan.
yeah, it was 79 today.
Ooh, man.
It was too
That,
hot.
what was the high here, Kayla? Do you remember? 87? 87
That's
today?
probably way hotter than I would want it to be.
I think 89 yesterday. Although we've been getting a pretty good breeze also most days, so it hasn't been like, one of those scorching heats or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. Um,
Cool.
yeah,
So, what's
other
on
than
your
that,
work desk then?
oh, if you can see this,
Nothing.
0.
Mm.
Yeah. What
I've
about you?
been uh, I've been working on my cities still a little bit while I was up at work. Started working on my cavalry, and then I think while I'm home this week, I left all that up there. I think I'm gonna work on some orc stuff. I've been thinking about playing either Iron Draws or Cruel Boys in our tourney. So maybe just rounding out the things I need to make those lists. Since we're not requiring painting.
You got list in mind already?
Well, I had a Cruel Boy list in mind, and I played you with it, and I got beat up, and I played Ethan with it, and I smashed him. So I think I'm going to give it another shot against you and see if I, can make it work. Because I really think Cruel Boys are kind of the most fun. I mean, Iron Jaws are really fun too, but I don't know if they're quite as good as Cruel Boys. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. That's about it though, for
Okay.
me.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't done anything hobby wise because I haven't been at home. So
Yep.
moving right along, we do have to plug some upcoming events, mainly or most importantly, I guess, would be our event.
Our event.
Yep, the RTT in May we're going to have. Again, if you want to join the Discord, please do. The event stuff is posted in there. You can also find it on BCP under OMG RTT is the name. That's happening
Okay.
May 25th here in Monroe, Michigan.
Well, not there in Monroe, Michigan.
Well,
Here in Monroe,
yeah,
Michigan.
you get the point. But currently we don't have any openings. We're full as of right now, but there is a wait list. And just to let everybody know, the most likely if you get on the wait list, you'll be able to get in. I mean, we have like 3 or 4 of our team that is registered to play in the event to fill out the spots. Um, but all of which would said that, if we get a wait list, they would step out and let the other players play and then just help
Yep.
run the event. So best way to get on the wait list currently is to just email us at oldmangaming734@gmail.com. So if you can do that, I'll get your name on the list.
Nothing to add really about our GT yet. We haven't.
Yeah,
Jake's
I
been on
mean,
vacation. We haven't really talked a whole lot about it. But are we thinking February? Is that what
I
we were
think,
thinking now?
yeah, I think she did. The lady did email me back, and I'm not sure if I shared that with you or not, but she said
I think you did. Yeah.
the dates that she has available would just be any any weekend in February other than February 1st. So the rest of
Perfect.
February is just open. So we'll have to pick a date, but I think that's when we can shoot for.
Okay.
So that will
I love
be,
that.
yeah, that'll be a GT that we're going to try to plan um, this upcoming year. So other than that, stay tuned. We'll get you more info once we get it together.
Okay.
What about some other events?
Yeah. So I was looking through the articles while I was writing the show notes for tonight, and I noticed that they put out the dates for the U.S. Open and the World Championships for 2024. So GW is going to run 4 tournaments. It looks like this year. First one coming up here in May, the 16th through 19th in Dallas, Texas. So
Okay.
that's a big one. Then Tacoma, Washington in July 19th through 21st, and rounding out the U.S. Opens in Tampa Bay, Florida, October 11th through the 13th. So, and I believe if you win one of those, you get to have free entry into the World Championships,
Yep.
which is again going to be in Atlanta this year, and that'll be in November, the 21st through the 24th. So, um, that's that. I think isn't that that's got to be close to Thanksgiving weekend. Ugh.
That might actually be Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, that's probably not the brightest move, but regardless, they also have a big narrative thing that day too. So I think
Yeah.
if you even if you're not in the World Championships, I think there's plenty of events going on during those days. So
Yep.
something to check out.
Yep. It's pretty cool. I mean, I like that they do some big events that they're sponsoring.
Yeah.
Leading up to the World Championships is a cool.
Now the thing
Cool.
about their events is you can't use printed models or proxies or anything like that. I mean, I guess you could probably use proxies if you're modeling them yourself, like if they're
If they're
converted models.
Yeah, if they're
But
converted, you could, I suppose. But I mean,
as lenient as most uh, tournament
I think
direct.
I think though that for the most part, if you're going to play in one of those big tournaments to try to win a spot to get into the World Championships, you're not practicing. You're not going to do 3D prints anyway.
Well, but I mean, some people have like that KO army, that was at Adepticon that won Best Army. That didn't. I don't even think it had a KO model in it.
No, but that was clearly all conversions.
Yeah,
Although,
but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that
I
would
mean,
work.
you could easily go, that's all 3D printed. And I mean, what are you going to break it so you can show somebody that you made it? No.
I don't,
So,
that would be a
yeah, I
tough.
don't know.
That'd be a tough one.
Yeah,
I
I mean, I
mean,
don't know. You'd have to probably send them, pictures and say, "Are you going to let me play with this?"
right?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Something to think about.
yeah. Other than that, but that's the World Championship route or the
Yeah,
circuit or whatever
that's
you want
cool.
to call
Like a U.S. Open circuit. I like
it.
it.
Yeah.
So maybe
What
in October, if we had an opening, maybe we could make it down to Tampa.
I'm
You like
pretty
to go to
close to there
Florida?
right now. I must have picked the wrong weekend to come down.
Yeah. Well, it's 6 months from now. So
Oh well. Why don't we give some shout outs to the sponsors of the show here.
okay.
First off being Gray Matter Gaming. You can find everything you need at graymattergaming.org. Andy and the crew over there have uh, the fourth edition objective markers now. He might
Nice.
have limited stock, but I think he's got them. He's got them there for you. Also, another note that I think we didn't mention last time, but he's got new mat designs coming in the summer.
Oh,
So be on the lookout for that. I know he mentioned it.
upgrade
We
that
met.
collection.
Yes. So some new mats coming with new designs in the summer. I think June or July, something like that.
Yeah.
Also, Michelle Anderson in her Etsy shop. Um,
T
yep,
for it.
there you
T
go.
for it.
See for
T
its
for its
treasures.
treasures.
I don't know. Keep getting hung up on that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so she also has those the clear plastic objective markers for 4.0 already. 'Cause it has those measuring sticks we've talked about before that are you know in a in a case together, the
Yeah.
magnetic case that holds them all. I think anywhere all the way up from 2 inches to 9 inches, I want to say, are in the
Yeah.
kit. So pretty cool. So get your
Yep.
hands on any one of their products from either Gray Matter Gaming's or T for its Treasures. All right.
It's on to the next main
Yeah.
topic.
Main topic. Main topic of the
Moving
week.
right along today without tournament coverage.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine by me. A little quicker show tonight, maybe.
Maybe you're on vacation.
Um. Yeah. I'm just taking a little time out of the night. Everyone, we had a long day today. We went out to the beach and got a lot of sun, and so
Yeah.
everyone is just about passed out right now.
Yeah. They're like, would you shut up? So
So
first
yeah,
things first, let's look at that. Let's have a look at that new Skaven model. You
yeah. Let
bringing that
me
up?
pull that up right now. Actually, all right. New Skaven model would be the model of the Warlock Engineer.
Yeah. Now
Um,
neither a warlock nor an engineer. We'll talk about that in just a minute after we take a look at the pick here.
yeah, kind of strange that they completely redid him, huh?
Yeah, I mean they're
But
rewriting all the
I
rules.
mean, you get a new sculpt, right?
Yep.
Um, I I'm a little torn on this guy myself because I'm not much of a I don't love Skaven all that much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think probably what's turned me off from Skaven from the beginning of getting into this hobby was just that the models were almost as
Old.
old as I am, you know?
Yeah.
So it was just like, to me, they don't look that good, so I don't really care about them. A lot
Yeah.
of people, but a lot of people, they have a strong following, I think. I mean, you like you some Skaven. I know our
I
buddy
do.
Clay is a total Skaven head. Um, but there's a big community of people that like this, and I think they'll enjoy this dude. I mean, he looks cool, right? They redid the sculpt, and he looks kind of
Yeah.
neat.
I mean, he's like the little 6 wound. He's not like general level. I mean, I guess he could be your general, but he's like your basic character level character, and I mean, for that, I think he looks great. He's got the little mouse up there on his shoulder.
Yeah, I mean
Looks like he's got a mechanical leg.
it's fun, right? It's like
Yeah,
a
it's a cool
fun
model.
model.
Not a lot that you could do conversion wise. I guess you could adjust the arms maybe a little bit and make him shooting. I'm not real sure, but I mean
Yeah,
he's kind of in a lookout pose, but that kind of works with his rules. So
yeah. When I also thought that when I read through them, I'm like, this guy should be in like a action pose more than like a hey, I'm gonna look at something pose. I
yeah,
guess. I mean, I don't know. We'll take a look at his rules real quick.
yeah,
Um, we're just gonna skip right down to the actual
yeah,
war
yep.
scroll because I don't want to read all that. It's just the
Nope, that's
warlock
fine.
engineer. So just starting off at the top, he's got 6 inch move. He's got 5 health, control 2, and 5 up save. So
Pretty
that's
typical for a small
yeah,
character.
yep. We see that a lot already. 5 health, control 2, move 6 is pretty standard with
Yeah.
hero. Um, he's got 2 weapons. One is a ranged weapon, which is his warp lock musket, 24 inches range, 2 attacks, threes and threes, rend 2, and damage D3 with the ability crit auto wound.
I mean, it's a pretty good weapon.
Yeah, I would say that that's actually pretty decent, especially if you're going to do anywhere from 1 to 3 damage on rend 2.
Ren
At,
2, yeah, that's what
at
I mean,
yeah, and then your auto wounding on 6s, right?
well, and you got 2 shots, so honestly, you're doing anywhere, I mean, potentially, 2 to 6 damage. So, you
Oh,
could
sure,
kill
yeah, yeah,
a 5, 6 health character with that guy in 1 shot,
yep,
theoretically.
yep. Um,
And I mean, 3s and
well,
3s,
3 and 3 is not bad. I mean, which of course you can all out attack to get them on 2s and 3s.
sure. I don't know.
Um,
I mean, there's other models you're gonna wanna shoot with all out attack, I think.
well, sure, but I mean, you could if he was your one and only shooting option or something that was
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
He does have a melee warp forged dagger, 3 attacks, fours and fours, no rend, 2 damage.
Yeah.
So still sticking with 2 damage though, not horrible. I mean, it could be one, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But
it
he's
probably
he's
should be
not
1.
gonna he's not gonna hand to hand fight anybody. This dude, he's only gonna do
Legendary
that.
DM. Thanks for the chat. We appreciate the guy with the beard is hot. You're right.
Holy shit! Oh, which one? Which one? Interesting.
I mean,
Hmm.
both.
Oh, we're both hot. Sweet. Well, we appreciate you. Okay, so the interesting part about the warlock before we move on to like the actual topic is his abilities, right?
I would say so.
Yeah, this is problematic, I think. But he's got a reaction ability that you declare a shooting ability for this unit if it was not set up this turn, and it has not used a move ability this turn. So if he's stationary and you haven't set him up, you can use this thing. The effect is roll a dice on a 2 up, set the damage characteristic of this unit's warplock musket to 3 for the rest of the turn. On a
Yeah,
1, inflict D3 mortal damage onto this unit.
yeah,
So it
it's
still has,
automatic.
yeah, it still has the fun little, hey, do this thing, or maybe you can blow yourself up Skaven thing. Um,
16%.
but correct. So 16% of the time you're gonna do some little bit of damage to yourself. but the other percent of the time, you're just always going to be re-damage on your shot instead of D3. Are you ever not going to do this?
I mean, I can't. I mean, if no,
Yeah,
I mean, no Skaven player worth their salt would ever just. I mean, they're gonna take. Skaven's about taking risks, and that's not even a huge risk. All day, I'm using that ability.
yep. So right there, uh, potentially just doing what, 6 damage.
Yeah, I mean, you're just crushing people.
Q,
You're killing characters.
maybe, maybe. I mean, you still have the new lookout sir ability, so maybe not just picking dudes off. Oh,
I mean,
wait,
oh wait, there's more.
there's more on its scroll. So once per turn, in your shooting phase, you are a sniper master. So you declare this by picking a visible enemy hero. Enemy hero. What does it say? Pick a visible enemy hero.
Enemy hero, please.
Yeah, to
That
be the
guy,
target.
he gone.
The effect for the rest of the turn, this unit and friendly Warp Lock Giselle's units, wholly within 13 of this unit, can ignore the effects of the guarded hero ability when picked to be the target of the shooting attacks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I can't wait. I'm gonna ally this motherfucker into every army just so I can start offing your characters in the backboard, long distance dedication style. I'm playing chaos with just chaos dudes and that guy.
This is insanity.
I love it.
Like did we not fix this in other versions of the game where you could not just snipe heroes from across the board?
I mean, I think that they're just giving it to certain units now, but I mean that's pretty. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what the Giselles look like.
Who gives a shit
But
what they look like? They're all gonna fire at the same target.
yeah, but they're gonna only shoot 18 inches most likely. So I
No
mean, you're
way.
just gonna have to get something into that. Plus, there's no more shooting into or like out of combat and things like that. So there are ways to shut it down. But yeah, I mean,
I mean, you'd have to deep strike something into somebody's backfield where these dudes are gonna sit and tag them in combat just so they can't shoot.
yeah.
Because
Well,
otherwise, I mean, otherwise, this dude's going to shoot at your heroes. The Giselles are going to be able to shoot at all the heroes. Like, and the
well,
thing,
go
the
ahead.
thing with the shooting phase is crazy because, like, you don't have to declare all your shots at once, right? So, this hero is going to shoot at a hero. If he doesn't kill the hero, then the Giselles shoot at that hero. The most important
Yeah.
hero on the board is going to die. What
Well, but
happens if
again,
this guy shoots a hero, right?
yeah,
Then the
he's
Giselles are wide open to shoot at any other hero they want, and say they shoot off a hero.
you
You
no,
could
no.
potentially
It
not have
just says
any.
you have to pick one hero to be the target. So if you shoot with that guy and off him, then that target is no longer there for the Giselles.
Oh, okay, maybe I just read that wrong. Like you just could
Yeah.
just any shooting attack could pick a hero. Okay, well
Yeah.
whatever.
Tim
Once
said
per
CLO health characters. I mean, he's right. That's what we're
yeah,
saying.
I mean like once per turn in the shooting phase, a hero is going to die. Right?
Yeah.
Is
Now,
that how
but
you read
again,
it?
yeah, no, but the thing is, this guy has this 24-inch range, which GW said they're going to lower ranges and some of the shooting.
Still,
But this is the first shooter they've shown us, and
24
it's
is still
24
long.
inches.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty. That's.
Does it? I
I
mean,
mean, he can't stand on the back of the board. I guess it's not like 48 inches or whatever. You know, it's not
yeah, but
whatever.
do you even care if Giselles are 18? If this guy's 24, the Giselles are 6 inches in front of him. They're all going to shoot the same target.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it could get real hairy. You might have to leave your characters back until, or there could be a rule that we don't know yet. There could be a rule about you're not visible if you're
Well,
in a unit.
yeah. That would be the other thing that might be defense against this particular thing, especially if this is going to be a thing that's in the game now. Because
Yeah.
not just this one hero is going to have this thing, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and yeah, that we were talking about it. We figure, those long strikes or whatever for Stormcast would
Yeah,
have something like
Stormcast
this.
might have that. Um,
Those
maybe in the
Those
combination.
flying Fox brothers
Oh,
in the Lumineth,
yeah,
those dudes are gonna fucking snipe shit for
they could
sure.
be back on the table for playability.
Yeah, I'll hate that. But I mean, we don't know the rules yet, and that's the key. I mean, we never like everything we talk about is with a grain of salt. We know like 1% of each rule. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
but
and GW
this
puts
one
this shit
percent
out
is
here right
pretty.
now to cause drama, and then they come back next week and they're like, ah, look at this.
Well, I mean, sure, it gets us talking about it. It's
Yeah.
good. That's good marketing. But still, I mean, this ability seems off the rip seems awfully strong.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
guess I guess
it's basically like
everybody
here, buy
just
all your
better
Skaven
play.
model,
Yeah, just everybody better play Skaven. Then
and
all the
then
heroes
see
will
who can
die,
shoot
and
all
the
the other
clan
guys'
rats can
heroes
fight
off
each other.
first. And then it's just clan rats versus clan rats. All right.
um.
Do you want to talk
So,
about guarded hero?
yeah, let's briefly touch on it. So,
Basically the
guarded hero is going to be um the new lookout sir,
same.
right? It's a passive ability that your heroes get. Um, okay, so anyways, the effect is that if this hero is within combat range of a friendly unit that's not a hero, so a unit, right? And it just is not a hero. So it can be any unit. It doesn't have to be battle line or something or some
I
other
think before it used to have to be like a unit that was 5 men or more.
maybe.
Unit
So
unit of
either
five.
way, now it's just simple.
Also, it says if this hero, it doesn't say non-mounted hero.
That's true. I didn't. Yeah, if the hero if your hero has the hero keyword, which all the
All
heroes
heroes
will.
that are not monsters or war machines. So yeah,
Yeah, so your mounted heroes could get that now. Yeah, that's cool.
look out
So
for your
anyways,
mount.
so you're gonna get a couple of effects if you're within combat range of a friendly unit.
Yep.
One being subtract one from hit rolls for shooting attacks against this hero. Um, and then if if this hero is infantry, which we've seen that like most actual foot heroes
So
are,
far, yeah. Yeah.
yep, they cannot be picked as the target of shooting attacks made by units that are more than 12 inches away from them. So this
Oh,
is
so just
why the
the foot guys are the ones that are unshootable. The horse guys could still be picked out, but they're -1 to hit now.
right, yeah.
Okay.
So you got to be within 12 to shoot any normal shooting into a hero. Um, however, that warlock engineer's ability negates that.
Love
That's
that.
why it's so strong because he's just not going to take any negatives and he's just going to shoot the dudes, right?
Yep.
I guess the caveat really is that he only has two attacks, and
He can
most
do 6 moves.
I know, but most of the time when Skaven roll dice, they roll ones. Is that right?
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, because they always kill themselves and they always like do weird stuff. So maybe they just won't even hit.
I love your dice logic as usual.
Yeah.
I
Anyways, that is the Warlock
think
Engineer.
that's the whole thing there.
Yeah.
So let's go on to a little bit more meatier battle packs, battle plans, and the GHB.
Yep. So here's part of like the real meat of what they released this week. And starting with the battle packs and battle plans, we do get a look at what they call first blood. And this is um, what did they say? It's the core rules right? Of the new
Yeah, it's
edition.
just, one of the ones for, like, for I think Spearhead and Path to Glory or whatever,
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. So, right. So if you're not playing with any of the like match play modules or whatever, out of the box, you could just play a game with First Blood Battle Pack.
They
So,
showed us um, one, it's called Stake a Claim, one mission or one,
yeah.
battle
Um,
plan.
I want to touch on a couple things real quick before we look at that battle plan.
Okay.
The first blood battle pack actually says that it is a 4-turn game instead of a 5-turn match play game.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, so that'll be a little bit. I think they probably did that intelligently because if you're just getting into the game and you're a new player or something and you're using this battle pack, typically your rounds are going to last longer.
Yeah.
So you can just play 4 rounds instead of 5, finish a little quicker maybe. But it'll give you the gist of the game. Um, so going into the actual battle plans, all of them have like a twist, is what they call them. So it'll be like a rule that manipulates the scoring or whatever. Um, Sometimes that'll provide what they call the underdog, which is the player with the fewest points at the start of a round. It gives it like a little bit of a catch-up mechanic.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the best way to describe it, right? The player with the least amount of points gets some kind of perk or a bonus.
Yeah, and so, like, we'll see on this first one, it's
Yep.
pretty good. The next one, um, from the GHB is not as good. So, I mean, and then the last one doesn't have anything to do with the underdog at all. So I think they've given us kind of a good variety. But, yeah,
But
let's
yeah,
talk about
so
that.
so stake a claim. Um, this is from this is battle plan 2 of the pack of the first blood pack. Basically, we're looking at a map that's divided straight down the center long ways. Deployment goes all the way up to the center. So you're not going to have a
Well, it'll be 9 inches back, I'm sure.
well. What I mean is like
Your
sorry,
territory.
deployment's not. Yeah, your territory is divided right in the center.
Yeah.
Um, so depending on what the battle tactics are, maybe more difficult to score some if they have some like they do now with surround and destroy. So it just depends. Um, but there's 5 objectives, one being the very center, and then 2 in each of the attacker and defender's territories.
Yeah.
Um, where does it say? Oh, the twist. The twist is at the start of the battle round, if there are any, or if there is an underdog, they can pick one objective, and that objective is no longer controlled by the either player and cannot be controlled this battle round. You're basically just turning one off.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, if there was a something that says, "Hey, you need to contest an objective," it would still work, but you can't control it. And it's not blown up, it's not gone for the game. It's just for that turn, and then it can be changed the next turn by the next
Yeah,
underdog.
which makes sense
So
in a starter battle pack, not to do anything weird like, oh, now you got to remove an objective or
yeah,
whatever. So the underdog just gets to turn an objective off. So that's cool, right? They can
I think
manipulate
it's a
score.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good catch-up mechanic, I think, in particular in this one, like I was saying. I think this first one is decent.
Yep.
So then we
Um.
get to the general's handbook.
Yep. Which is on a side note, they did say that the General's Handbook rules are going to be included in the starter set.
Yep, that's cool. Don't have to wait
So
for that book to come out or anything.
well, I don't know. I think the only thing you don't get um, was the actual battle plans. I think you got all of the rules, but not the maps or something like that. or am I mistaken?
They'll be in the Gentleman's Handbook.
Well, I mean, it won't be in a book form. I think they said there'll be cards with the rules and stuff,
Oh, well,
but not the
if
actual
they do that,
physical
then
book.
they'll probably have double-sided cards, one side with the maps, and I'm not
Well, that might
sure.
be
I don't know. I didn't read. I guess I didn't read it that closely. I just kind of went through everything.
actually. I don't know if I read that. I think that's what Rob said. One
Okay,
of the,
okay.
so I mean, he's usually pretty much 100% correct on everything.
I mean,
So we'll
pretty
see.
close, except for
Um,
murder.
well, murder rules do exist. You just never roll fives.
Hashtag murder rolls.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, so the GHB.
Yep.
The battle plans in the GHB will consist of um, battle plans that were like the top rated ones over the last 8 years.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
Tournament
They,
directors and employees, and I think just some well-known people, influencers, I think got to vote on all that. So that's kind of cool.
yeah, I mean, it is cool. And they obviously revamped them to work with fourth edition rules and scoring. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Since
why
you
not?
brought up scoring, do
Yep.
you want to talk about that right now before we get into just the general thoughts? Um, so the
Yeah,
new
go ahead.
scoring is going to be a max of 10 points per turn instead of 5. And all of your objective type stuff, you're going to get a max of 6, it looks like, for. So, for instance, if it was hold 1, hold 2, hold more, it would be 2, 2, and 2 for that instead of 1, 1, and 1. If there's a situation which we'll look at here with Border War, where your opponent's is worth more than your home objective, etc., then the max will be 6 points for that. And then what's crazy is they made your battle tactics, which we'll talk about in the next article, worth 4 points each. Uh, I mean, at face value, it's like, wow, battle tactics are worth a lot. But really, percentage wise, it's the same. I think that they made the changes for maps like this one we're going to talk about just so they can spread out the amount of points that you get for different things and still have that maximum of 6 instead of making it a maximum of 3, which would have been kind of weird. Um, and give your opponent kind of a catch up mechanic. But that's the new scoring as far as that goes, and also no grand strats in this GHB. Um, Interesting, I guess. I don't know. There's mixed reviews. Some people, I watched Haywo the other day, and he was saying that he wished there was grand strats and no battle tactics. I don't know. We'll see, because I kind of like some of the things they've done with the battle tactics. Again, we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so I think it'll be interesting. The scoring, as far as like the percentage of points, don't change. It's just it's a little bloated as far as the points go, so they don't have to fractionate anything. So
Yeah. Sure. I mean, having kind of like I guess my thought on the scoring at least is that they were making they adjusted all of the battle plans so at maximum you're going to score 10 points a turn, right?
yeah.
Um, there's no um, weird scoring ones anymore. Like if you had your wizard camped out on an objective, you get a bonus point, or if you kill the
Well,
wizard.
theoretically, just like Tim said, we don't technically know that, but the ones that they've shown us are all capped at 6.
Okay.
Or
Well, I mean, they're not going to revamp all the scoring to say in the article that you get maximum 10 points a turn and then just go, oh, except for these 5 maps. I think
right.
I I want to say with this GHB they'll just kind of make it vanilla and go, here's the scoring, right?
Yeah, just to try it and see if they need to
Yeah.
make some adjustments. You're probably right.
And to be honest, that's fine. But I think you're going to end up having a lot of games that are really close to being tied unless um, people make weird decisions and like take the double turn so they can't score a tactic. which would be strange. And it like if they miscalculate, what I'm saying is if they miscalculate the effectiveness of their double turn,
Oh, I think that'll be a huge thing in the beginning.
yeah. So normally you would take a double turn because you'd be like, I'm gonna just score maximum points for 2 turns in a row and devastate my opponent to where now he cannot max score, right?
Right. Right.
But now that you have to take a 4 point penalty basically to do so, it may not matter. I mean, like your opponent will then just be, um, I don't know. I mean, like he's going to be the underdog because you've scored 2 turns in a row, right? So on maps where you get a bonus for being the underdog, you're going to have that. Plus, you know, he'll get the opportunity to score battle tactics for his 2 turns. Um, and maybe that's too big of a swing in points. 4 points seems like a lot.
Well, it's still only 40%. Before it was 2 points out of 5 is 40%. I
Okay. Oh,
mean,
I'm just
dropping
saying.
tactics is still the biggest way to lose game.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Period.
Like if you purposely lose a tactic because you took a double turn, um, you ought to just count yourself down 4 points, and there's
Yeah.
no way to make up the 4 points because there's no grand strat at the end.
Right.
So that's what makes it even more important to not drop tactics. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Do you think the double turn is basically dead?
I mean, I do. I do, unless, like we've talked about before when we talked about the double turn, unless you are gonna absolutely demolish them and it's like early and they're crippled and they're not gonna be able to score after that. At that point, it's worth taking it. because you, but even so, it depends on what TOs are gonna do as far as like tiebreakers, because you're literally giving up a tiebreaker to guarantee a win when you might have won anyway. It's really hard to tell. Now, the
Yeah.
other thing you have to take into account is, and again, for the third time, when we get to battle tactics, it'll make it a little more clear. But there's a lot of battle tactics so far that they've put out, um, that are counterable, and so like there may be more, like the stuff that I do with corn, where I'm like, oh, you're gonna do that battle tactic, I'm gonna murder lust in and you can't charge now, and so you lose your battle tactic, and do things like that. um, every army is going to be able to do that. So there's going to be a lot of more counterplay, I think, with battle tactics. They'll be easier in some instances, but in other instances, it's going to be harder. But we'll talk about that. I'm getting ahead of
Yeah. Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say to Tim, he's right. Not all of them say they're capped, but for instance, the next one after this one doesn't say it's capped, but it's two. It's 1, 2, or more. So it's capped just because you can only get 1, 2, or more. So it's still a 6. It's still the max you can get. So I think that they will cap anything that allows you to get over. So that's what that rule you were talking about, like, oh, if you kill a wizard, you get +1 or something.
Yeah.
They may leave things like that in, but you're still going to be capped at 6 points.
Yeah, well, right. They might, right. They could give you, you could essentially see something that says hold one, hold two, hold more. But if you didn't get more, get two for hold objective with a wizard or
Something like that, or
whatever.
1 for getting an objective with a wizard. So you might get 9 points instead of 8.
Or,
I mean,
yeah,
we'll see. It opens design space a little bit more, having that gap there, so they can do a bonus point for a ninth point or a seventh point,
sure.
stuff like that.
Um, anyway, getting back on track here with Border War.
Yeah.
Um, just to review this one real quick. This one was from 2016. Um, being reintroduced here. And what you're looking at here, as far as the board goes, is the same as what we looked at the previous one, where you have the attacker and defender territory divided straight down the middle long ways. However, the objectives are one wholly in each zone, and then 2 on the borders. And you do have a twist in this one. The twist,
It's kind of a complicated twist.
Yeah, we'll just read through it and then we'll give some thoughts. So the twist, victory points scored by each player from controlling objectives are capped at a maximum of 6 per turn. Okay, so that already says right there that it's capped at 6.
Well, this is one where you can get more,
Yeah.
so they have to put that in there.
So we're going to add one to the hit rolls for units in the underdog army if they charged this turn and are contesting an objective wholly within the enemy territory.
Yeah.
Of course, this would only be the one objective, right?
Yep, the enemy's home objective. If you are down and you need to make a go for it,
Better get
you can charge their home objective, and you're going to be +1 on all your hit rolls for every unit that charged that
yeah.
turn and is contesting that objective.
It's important because how the scoring reads, right? So each player, the victory points at the end of the turn are as follows: you score 1 victory point if you control the objective wholly within your friendly territory.
Yep.
You score 2 victory points for each objective on the border, and then you score 5 victory points if you control the objective wholly within your enemy's territory.
Yeah.
4 victory points, obviously, for the battle tactics that you complete. But yeah, so Hail Mary plays, right?
Yeah, I think that's really what it's there for, is to give the underdog the ability to just go for it and try to get that 5-point score.
Yeah,
And then if
and
they're holding another one, then they get their full max.
I mean we've played enough games of AoS to, when you get down to turn like 4 or 5 and you realistically are trying to weigh like what's the maximum amount of stuff I can do with my remaining army.
Yeah.
And at least this gives you an option. Like if you're down in points and you go, man, I don't know what to do. This tells you what to do. You
Sure.
have to get to that objective to score the points.
Yep.
And sure, make it a little bit easier. Might make for an interesting end of a game. Yeah, it might be a buzzer beater shot and for a win, something like that. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like that that underdog twist. I like this scenario.
Yeah,
It's a fun scenario.
and you can.
And and in the
I,
past, I know Tim has run tournaments, and he said he didn't run scenarios like this because certain people could run up scores. They put a cap on it.
yeah,
They put a cap on it, baby.
put a cap on it. And the other point to this too is it's completely fair. Meaning, if you know your opponent's the underdog, and that's the play that they're going to have to make to make up some scoring, then you can play defensively around your home territory also,
I
right?
mean, if you're not in the middle of their home territory.
Well, I mean, like, if you're beating someone, if you're already beating them, let's say they dropped a tactic early or something, and you just don't, and you go, okay, at one of these points, this dude's going to have to come into my zone and try to charge my home objective,
Yeah.
whatever. So it's not just like a thing the underdog gets to do. You can defend against it.
I
Um,
mean, very I think that's one of the fairest that they've
yeah,
shown us.
cool. Why don't we get to anything else on the border war that you wanted to touch on?
Nope. I want to point out again that the territory is 50-50. There's no man's land again.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering, and we'll look at the next one. It's the same way. So they're showing us 3 with no man's land. It's interesting
it is interesting.
that they're doing that. I mean, they could just be showing us all the same stuff. They don't want to give too much information out. It's hard to tell,
For
but
sure.
that's interesting. They did
Yeah. So let's get into the next one. And the next one is the Vice.
that. Yeah.
And this one is from 2021. Uh, it also has a fixed scoring of 10 per round.
Yep.
However, this one also comes with a terrain map that we can review.
Kind of cool.
Let me see if this works because this is way too small for me to read. Okay, here we go. That's better.
You want me to just go over
No,
it? I
no,
have it all right here.
yeah, you can go over it. I just made the picture. here?
So the Vice, you're gonna, like I said earlier, you get 2 points for holding one, 2 points for holding more than one, and 2 points for holding more than your opponent. So 1, 2, and more, just like before. Excuse me. The twist on this one is at the start of the second battle round, the tactics move in. And Tim had made a comment earlier in the chat that he said that he doesn't like moving objectives. But I think in this case, you set them up in the middle square area there, and like you just know they're in the outside square at the beginning, and then on turn 2 they move to that middle square area for 2 turns, and then they're in the center. So I mean, you could also, they're smaller objectives, they shouldn't overlap, so you could put all 5 of those on there and just leave the corner ones out. But anyways,
Well, and
so
to that, let me real quick say something about that. I think that's probably why they introduced the terrain map that we'll see on this next picture, because the terrain maps are set up in a way that I don't think that the objectives touch them,
yeah, no, and I agree.
right?
I think that if you have the terrain or whatever that you want to use and you want to use that map, now they said later that there's still rules for placing your own terrain. But if I mean, I love the idea of having a terrain map. That way, it's fair. You don't get. Remember that time that that girl set up all the terrain in the middle and Nick couldn't even get across the board. And
Yeah,
I mean,
that was wild.
um, and so, I mean, that's probably why they do things. I totally agree. Put the train maps out there, and I think we'll probably use them at least to start.
Yeah, I mean,
And
like,
see how they work.
I mean, it just gives you, like, by default, the map being there on the right in the general's handbook on the page where you're looking up your battle plan
Yeah,
just goes, well, I'm just going to put a large piece here, a medium piece here, whatever, right? I mean, it's laid out for you, so you should play it the way that it's laid out, I think.
yeah, but I also think it would be easier just to put those 5 center objectives out and not move them at all, and
Oh,
just
you can,
go,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
you
when
can
it
do that too,
moves,
sure.
these are turned off. The other thing about the twist, so then in turn 4, all the objectives converge in the middle, and so there's only one objective right in the middle. And at that point, it's impossible to get more than your opponent. And no, it's impossible to get 2
Too,
because you
yeah.
can get 1 still, and you can get more, but you can't get 2. And so they added in another way to get 2 victory points. And that is if there are no enemy units within 6 of the remaining objective, which is in the center. So if you keep everyone outside of 6 of that and you control it, you'll get your full 6 points from your objectives. Now they don't have anything for underdog on this one. Oh no, wait, they do. At the
Yep.
end of their turn, the underdog can pick one objective and inflict D3 mortal wound damage to each unit contesting that objective. So maybe on turn 4, all of a sudden you take the middle and you're getting that max points. All your stuff sitting there, well, it's all going to take some hits too. So I mean, that's kind of what they're thinking, is they're going to
So,
give you some extra damage.
right, yeah, it's gonna just splash some damage on some stuff that's maybe already injured or
Yeah.
whatever, and then that player, the underdog, is gonna have the opportunity then to fight you uh off of that objective. So cool. I like that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. So I think that's it for battle packs, battle plans, and the GHB. Let me just look through my notes real quick. No grand strats. Yeah, we've talked about all this stuff.
One thing,
So,
one thing that's
oh, go ahead.
strange, yeah, and it's just like maybe a side note thing. Um, that they have a compass now on all of the maps for some reason.
Um,
I wonder why that
yeah.
is there.
So I think it's just so you know which way is the short side and which way is the long side.
Maybe
Otherwise,
seems
I don't
weird.
really know. I mean, it doesn't. It's just there because it's a map. Maybe I'm not real sure, but I mean, theoretically, if you were looking at this on your phone, it's a lot smaller. The squares may look closer together or something,
Yeah, maybe.
and so and so it's that way they don't twist it and do like a long, like a sideways one or something. No, Tim, they said in this GHB no grand strats. but they did say in this GHB. And so that leaves the door open. They could be in the next GHB. They're gonna probably
Yeah,
try without and see if the scoring is too close or there's too many ties or too much something like that. And if that happens, they may add that kind of thing in. Or they could add in grand strats to give armies advantages. Like, because when armies are underdeveloped, they like to put in those battle tactics and things like that. That could be their loophole where they add in a grand strat for an army to give it a little leg up, maybe. I don't
yeah,
know.
maybe that, but yeah, I don't know because I think they already announced that the armies weren't going to get army specific um, battle tactics. So why would they get a,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like why would they?
Well, or it could be a Grand Alliance army tactic.
Oh, that's maybe that. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet. You're burying the lead.
Ah, damn, damn.
We keep talking about battle tactics. Let's just get on to it.
Um,
Oh, you know what? There is one more thing.
yeah,
The
yeah,
season rules.
yeah.
So
So
go ahead.
season rules in the GHB, in this first one anyway, is a rule called Honor Guard, and Honor Guard lets you do um, some abilities. So let's just read. So the the seasonal rule is Honor Guard. Your army can choose one of the following abilities with the Honor Guard. The one that
They're
they,
just showing us
yeah,
one.
the one that they give us is called Bodyguard. So once per battle in the deployment phase, so that's notable. You get to pick this thing as you're
After you see
deploying.
your opponent's list. Yeah. Love
Uh,
that.
so you declare this by picking a friendly unit in your general's regiment that's not your general to be the honor guard. Uh, you can pick this unit in that you. This unit can be in reserve.
Yep.
If you use this ability, you cannot use it on any other honor guard, or you can't use any other honor guard abilities. So you get to pick one effect, right? This particular bodyguard effect is you subtract one from the attack characteristics of enemy units' melee weapons while they're in combat range with your general, if both of the following are true. Number one, the honor guard is wholly within 6 inches of your general, and the honor guard did not charge this turn. So, I mean, it's a
It's a
bodyguard
defensive.
ability, right? Um,
Yeah.
so your general can live.
Now, one thing that I've heard talk about is this subtracts one attack from enemy units. Rule is written right there. If you have one attack, that takes you to 0. Now, there could be a rule in the
Hmm.
main rule book that says characteristics cannot go to 0, at which point that makes sense. They should have that general rule in the game, and then this would make sense. But as it is,
Well, right,
rule is written right there in 3.0. That would mean you would have no attacks because it doesn't say otherwise.
but we don't have, yeah, right. We don't have the all the core rules to be able to say like, oh, is this a misprint, or are we gonna have an FAQ day one type of
No,
thing?
I just think that they're going to put in a rule that says no statistics can go to 0. Nothing can go below 1, except for wounds or whatever.
Well, I mean, this would be wild if you could just say, nope,
Turn off.
can't hit me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think that that's how it'll work. But I mean, that's a guard right there. They're
yeah,
locking you down.
sure would protect your general.
Yeah, double Bellicor.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind
yeah,
of
I
cool.
mean,
So I think when I was listening to Rob about this, I think he's probably pretty accurate in saying like, hey, this is the honor guard defense ability, right? There's
yeah, this
probably going to be two other abilities, one being an offensive one, and then one being some kind of a utility ability,
could be a movement thing, or it could be
or a, yeah, who knows?
magic thing, or a shooting thing. Who knows?
So anyway, so honor guard, pretty decent.
Yeah,
and it's gonna depend, like this is gonna how affect how you do your list building too, because now that you know that honor guard you're gonna get with only units within your general's regiment, maybe your general regiment is just gonna have more defensible units in them in in general.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. It just I guess it depends on a lot of different factors, I guess. But whatever the case is, your your units in your general's regiment is going to have the ability to pick uh, an honor guard ability.
Yeah, and remember, I think is it characters are allowed to have 2 units in their regiment, but generals allowed to have 4 or something like that?
Um, all of them are 0 to 3, and the generals is 0 to 4. So
Yeah. So,
they just get one extra. Yeah,
yeah. Um so I mean, if you like Honor Guard, hit like, subscribe, maybe leave a comment.
yeah,
And tell
yes,
us what
we
you think about
sure.
these battle packs.
Yeah,
And we'll reach out to you and we'll have a conversation.
yeah, please leave comments. I know we have a few comments already on our videos, but we would love to engage with you guys more. Uh, so yeah, leave a comment. We'll get back to you.
All right, so that is actually the end of the GHB. So now we'll just talk about battle tactics, and
Yeah,
that'll be it. We are already killing our usual time, so that's great. Killing our usual time, so that's great.
a bunch of bloat this week. Um, so it's pretty cool. And did we lose Josh? Let's see if we can get him back on. Tim, if you're still viewing, are we live? Don't know what happened here. That was really strange. Well, while we wait for Josh to reconnect, um, trying to understand where he's at. Uh, that he's having a hard time reconnecting back into the stream here. I'm gonna try to check to see if we're actually up and running. He doesn't know what he did. The disconnect. I'll try to get him back on here. Tim, are you still out there? I'm just reconnecting. Also, I'm having some Wi-Fi issues here apparently. All right, we're gonna try a troubleshooting thing here.
Can you hear me?
Hold 1 second. All right, how about now? You got me now?
I hear you.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with the screen. It's real fuzzy. I have a feeling maybe your hotel Wi-Fi just finally caught up with us.
That could be. Um, it did show that like I disconnected real quick there.
Hmm.
Maybe that kicked you off. I
Yeah,
mean, we're
maybe.
still live though, so
Yep. Well, that's fine. I keep seeing a buffer. That's all. And the actual screen is real blurry. So may not have much of a picture here for the rest of this show.
well, we'll see how it goes. Um, but I do
We
want
could
to get,
talk about it anyway.
yeah, let's just get through the rest of this article and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, so now we have getting into our battle tactics article here.
Yeah.
So obviously battle tactics are secondary scoring. And what is this tactical gambit ability?
So that's just so they basically how they made everything in the game now an ability. So that's just your way to pick a battle tactic. So that basically says you pick a battle tactic if you did not voluntarily take the double turn. It's in essence no change. It just kind of gives you a timing situation at the top. That's literally it.
Yep. So at first when I saw this, I went, "Wow, there's another thing," but it's right, like you said, they're just
It's just choosing your
this is just
your
the way
tactic.
that all of the things are now written. So pick a tactic is tactical gambit.
Yeah.
Um, so there's going to be 6 universal battle tactics given to everyone, and we get a few of them that they give us the review here, right?
Yep.
So why don't you start us off with seize the center?
All right. So there's 6 universal battle tactics that every army can use. Seize the center is one of the 3 that they gave us. So you complete this at the end of the turn if you have 2 or more friendly units that are within 3 inches of the center of the battlefield and not in combat. So this is one of those that you'll basically do in the first turn kind of thing. Oh
Yeah, I don't.
wait, Tim is saying he can't hear us because we're buffering. So I suspect this is all your internet. Because I see everything clear, but but your screen is super like The actual show is very foggy and no good.
On Twitch,
Yeah,
because I see it as being clear. So
yeah. I'm watching it on Twitch though,
yeah, I have
like
it pulled up too.
actual. Oh, do you?
Yeah, I had it.
Tim
I
says he can't hear us
can't hear this.
because it's buffering.
Hmm. Well,
I don't know what to do about it.
I guess we could try to just end and then restart.
Sure.
Okay, hold on, boys.